Cool. Yeah, so last night we talked a little bit about kind of why we wanted you specifically to do leadership, why you're in this room. And so today we're actually going to talk a little bit about why we're doing what we're doing. So what is our mission as a college ministry? What is our strategies and stuff like that? So if you have a Bible, go ahead and turn to Acts 1. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, just so you'll know, the structure is going to be, we're going to talk for much less time than we did last night, and then it's going to be some...
Probably about the same time.
It'll be about the same time. Cole's talking, so...
So
get it up! And then we'll go into a little bit of brainstorm, work on your own with your team.
Yep.
Just so you anticipate kind of the timeline.
So if you've been around over the summer, been to any member meetings at all, something we've started to push really is mission. And so kind of over the last 2 years, Alan and Ryan talk about this at every member meeting, at least once a year. They're like, we ask everyone, what are you best at? Jesus-centered, family, or mission? And it's always either Jesus-centered or family. And then we ask, what are you worst at? And it's 100% mission. And it's like, none of us really know how to do this. And so kind of as a church, and because of that, as a college ministry, we've started to ask the question, how do we do on mission well? Like, what are we missing? What are we not understanding? And so we've started doing this thing called every group around the pool. And so every group around the pool is this idea that we want life groups to be around the pool baptizing someone once a year. And so every year we want one life group or one person being baptized because of every life group. Because then we kind of have an intentional gospel mission. I don't know if you guys have heard of neighborhood mission dinners, but we're starting to do stuff like that where there are 5 neighborhoods. USC is the 6th neighborhood. And so that's kind of where we're going as a church.
Yeah,
and
so one thing I think is worth noting, I think for most folks, they just don't know what on mission looks like. Depends on your background, if you grew up in the church. So I grew up in a Baptist church, and to evangelize, to be on mission, was to do an event. So you went and did an event for the city, or we used to do like dirt bike missions. And so we would go to these dirt bike rallies like out in the middle of nowhere and put on like a chapel service, and then we would go and pray for the dirt bike riders and like try to evangelize to them while they were literally about to start their dirt bike race through the woods. And it's like, okay. I mean, I remember vividly walking up to a guy being so nervous because he's in full gear, helmet on, like, hey man, hey, all these bikes are on. Can I pray for you? What? I pray for you? And it was like, yes, I guess. I don't know. You fed us hot dogs earlier, so I guess I have to let you pray for me. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is so unnatural, right? And so the reality is, being on mission as a Christian should be a natural thing. And I think people just don't know how to define it. And so we kind of want to narrate it a little bit better of, you probably are living on mission and you just don't realize it. And we want to put a little bit more intentionality around it.
Absolutely. So this is a little bit of a Mission 101. That's the point of this session, so we can all feel a little bit more equipped of what it looks like to be on mission on USC's campus. And all of this is rooted in our call as Christians just to be missionaries wherever we are. So, I mean, the reality is the gospel is Jesus came to the earth, died on the cross, rose again 3 days later, and then because of that, we have right relationship with God. And then he says, go out and make disciples. And so that's where we're at. We're in the let's go out and make disciples portion of that, because we've all been made new. We all have a relationship with God now. So does someone have Acts 1:8?
Yeah.
Do it.
But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a really cool passage for me because it kind of does away with a little bit of the I'm not equipped. It's like we all have the Holy Spirit in us. Actually, in other passages, it talks about we are more equipped with the Holy Spirit here instead of Jesus here. He says to his disciples, I am going, and my Father is going to send a better helper so that we can go out to all the nations. And so it's like USC's campus is our Judea and Samaria and ends of the earth. And all of us, because of the Holy Spirit, have God with us. And so that's even why we're here. I mean, if we even go back 10 years, it's like 10 years ago, 8 guys and their families, if they had them, moved to USC, moved to Columbia to be like, let's do a Jesus-centered family on mission, and that was Midtown. And now, 10 years later, we have over 800 people in life groups. We have over 60 life groups in Columbia, just because we all had the same vision of, let's do Jesus-centered family on mission. And so basically what we're talking about is a little bit of gospel intentionality in our lives. We're not trying to like, okay, let's add going to the State House and evangelizing to my day every day. It's like, no, how do we, in our relationships already, live out mission? How do I view myself as a missionary in my classes while I'm at USC, at my job? Because it's like, that is how we're going to see lasting change. I think we were actually even talking about this last night, and Jay put it really well. Is like, I want us to realize that mission is just relationships.
Yeah.
Like, it's not this weird thing where I have to go talk to a guy in full dirt bike armor and be like, can I pray for you? It's not I have to preach a sermon on Assembly Street. It's just like, be friends with someone, love them, invite them into your life, and hopefully because you care about Jesus, because you love Jesus, that's going to be evident and they're going to see that. That's all mission is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so moving on to like, okay, so what is our specific mission? What does that look like for us? And so as me and Gary have been talking about, like, what is our proactive mission? Probably need to backpedal a little bit. So we're really good at reactive mission. There's reactive and proactive mission. Reactive mission is the idea of you just build with the people around you, right? So it's like, oh, I see this guy every day. I'm naturally around these people. I'm naturally friends with these people. So they automatically are my mission. And that's great. And we are good at that because we are fun. People like to be around us. I even notice this every week we go to Pizza Joint, and the waiter always talks to our group because it's like, we're worth talking to. That sounded harsher than I wanted it to. But it's just like, we're good at reactive mission, but then there's proactive mission. And so proactive mission is the idea of like, who is the people we're going towards? So if you've ever talked to missionaries, this is their thinking. I'm going to move to another country to specifically build with this people group. I'm going to target Muslims. I'm going to target this country, et cetera, et cetera. That's proactive mission. And so we, as a church family, aren't as great at this. And so we have decided as a college ministry, we think our proactive mission should be freshmen. That actually freshmen are what we should all be focusing on. Now that doesn't mean, I don't want you to hear me incorrectly, that doesn't mean stop building relationships with sophomores, juniors, seniors, people out of college, people you work with. No, that's reactive mission. I absolutely want you to do that. But naturally, probably we build with freshmen less. Like the way our lives are currently built, it's like, I just don't hang out on USC's campus all the time, like freshmen do. So I just don't hang out with them. It's like, right, that is proactive mission. I want you to intentionally put things in your life so that you are getting time around freshmen and getting to build with them. Does that make sense, that difference? Cool.
And that's something that we have even been experimenting with for the past year. I mean, if you were around, last year we did missional coaching groups. So we targeted honors, dorm, and capstone and said, we're going to go there. That's going to be our proactive mission. So we're not reinventing the wheel in what we're about to unload. It's just, I think as we were looking at it, we were saying, this is the right thing. Maybe there's just a better way to do this.
And Yeah, I just want to freshmen are in this weird point in life. It's like, okay, if you meet, I don't know how else to explain it, but if you meet somebody and they're like, I want to be your friend, it's not that you don't want to be their friend, but it's like, we all have friends. We all have relationships, so it's kind of like, yeah, if we become friends, that's fine. Like, I'm not against it, but it's also like, I don't need friends. Like, I have friends. It's whatever. Freshmen are in this weird point in life where probably for the first time it's like, hey, do you want a friend? Yeah, please.
Yes.
I'm alone. I just moved here. I don't know anybody. So Jay was talking about how when he was at Clemson, he was talking to a guy. He's like, you want to go to the lake this weekend? He's like, yeah. He's like, we can go pick up some clothes. And Jay was like, I'm good. Let's just go. Let's just go.
I don't need
because
clothes.
I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll wear this.
There's a lake.
It's fine.
Let's go.
Yeah. And so it's like there's this weird space where it's like every year 10,000 freshmen come to USC's campus and all of them, for the most part, just are looking. They're, for the first time in their life, looking for relationships. Yeah. They're more open to, yeah, whatever. I don't care if you're religious. As long as we can hang out, I'm more open to anything because I'm lonely. Mm-hmm. And for the first time, I have this very felt need of, they're a little bit more in tune with, yeah, this isn't working. I'm actually not satisfied. Mm-hmm. And they think it's because I don't know anybody. I'm not connected, et cetera, et cetera. It's actually a little bit more deeper than that. Yeah. But we can use that. We can use that for the gospel, for Jesus to move in that space. Yeah. So I think that's why I care so much, and I've pushed, even when talking to people about I want to build with freshmen specifically.
Yeah, and I think, so with the proactive and reactive, you're naturally going to be building with folks in your class, folks on your intramural teams, all that. So it's not like, well, I'm not really focused on them anymore. I'm thinking about freshmen specifically, and that's just not true. So like you said, you're going to be reactive in the spaces that you already are. Now what we're going to talk about today is some proactive things, specifically towards some freshmen, because it's a little bit clearer of a demographic, especially the first couple weeks. The importance here, and I think we want to move here. Stop me if you want to backtrack. But I think you guys know this, or a lot of y'all know it. The first 15, 30 days are really formative for freshmen. Everyone's coming in, or a lot of folks are coming in with no relationships, and they're trying to find the space. What are the stats, Cole? 38% of college students binge drink?
Yeah, so it's 38% of college students binge drink, and almost 100% of those, if they will binge drink, start within the first 6 weeks of college.
Yeah. And so your patterns are set after about first 6 weeks of college. So if you think back to when you're a freshman, that might be helpful to realize, okay, what were the relationships? What was I doing? Where was I? What were my friends doing? How did I find my friends? And that's why the sororities and the fraternities they fire off before class even starts. A lot of them is we know that we've got to start. People are looking for friendships, looking for relationships, and so we want to bring them in. And we're not anti-sorority or fraternity or anything. I'm just trying to show that's how it works with freshmen. A lot of times is they're just looking. I have a friend that does college ministry, and he said they go to the freshman events that the school puts on and hang out with those freshmen. And he said, almost always I'm sitting at a table with some awkward freshmen. And he's like significantly, you guys are awkward. Like, when you've been in that scenario where it's like, this is just, we're not meshing. This is awkward. That something's not working here. And so he was like, all right, well, let me get y'all's story. Why are you here? And so he starts talking to these guys, and they're like, well, most of everybody else in my hall went to go get drunk, and I don't really like drinking. So I figured I'd come to the freshman thing. It's like, yes. Oh my gosh. Like, oh yeah, I don't have any friends. I don't know anyone. Of course. This is exactly who we want. That's who we want to be reaching out to. People who are literally going, I have no friends. We want to be your friend. Right? And we also want to grab the folks, hopefully, that there's a better option of, well, let's go to 5 Point. I know for probably the past 5 years, it's been pretty significant at USC and Pastides.
Yep.
Not Pastides.
You're right.
Yes. Has has talked about a pretty good bit. Has talked about how the underage drinking is a problem. 5 Points Association is having a big issue with the amount of overconsumption in 5 Points and how many people are just puking and peeing in their yards in 5 Points, and they're trying to shut down bars. And it's interesting because this may be a little bit of a tangent, but working with USC has been difficult with on-campus organizations because they just have some hard lines that they want to keep on, and I understand that. But the reality is the problem is that people are looking to connect. And alcohol, for some folks, is like, well, these 5 in the hall are pre-gaming and then going to 5 Points, so I'll go do that. And it's like, yeah, because some of us, we haven't been able to get on campus to actually build those relationships, right? And so specifically for move-in day, we first moved to Columbia. That was the biggest thing we wanted to do, was help freshmen move into their dorms and meet them and say, hey, yeah, we're part of a church. If you want to get lunch afterwards, we're doing a lunch thing. If you want to come hang out, and we couldn't. You can't do that at USC. As far as like our church goes, we couldn't do it. Now, I think some of you guys are already signed up for move-in day, which I think will be just a beautiful lamppost for the gospel. But yeah, so just trying to give you the perspective of, we aren't going, our freshmen are the weak ones, let's grab them. It's like, no, it's just a super formative time, and that's why we want to be proactive in that mission. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, and I even think back to my freshman year, and so like I'd grown up in church. I went and I took a gap year in Spain, and so I kind of came back, and I hadn't really been involved in church the whole year. Like I really didn't go. I listened to some podcast sermons, but that was about it. Millennial Christians, and so I just kind of came back, and I really wasn't trying to jump back into church. Like some people come to college and they're like, man, first thing, got to find that church. It's like, if it happens, it's fine. Like, I believe in Jesus, but I actually feel pretty confident. I was incorrect in this. I actually feel pretty confident in my ability to feed myself spiritually without being connected to a local church. And so a friend of mine, Coleman McMurphy, was like, he was a sophomore, I was a freshman. It's like, oh, Midtown's throwing this party. We should go just to hang out. Like, it'll be fun, free food. It's like, yeah, I'm poor, let's do that.
Yeah.
And David Wolfer, I don't know if any of you guys have ever met David Wolfer. He is not the most eloquent person. We were playing Foursquare. I was caring a little bit too much, diving, And David Wolfer walked up to me and goes, hey, you want to be in my life group? Like, I'm starting a freshman life group. Like, you wanna join? And it was like, what is a life group? I don't know what that is.
Cole was like, you really need my help. So, you know what? This is going to be my life group in about a month. So, yeah.
No, but, and so I was like,
sorry.
You're good. It's going to be great to get that back on track. So I was like, what's a life group? And he's like, oh, small group. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, I'm a Christian. I'll go to a Bible study.
It's a life group.
And literally for like 4 months, I really didn't go on Sundays. I just went to life group because it's like, I didn't have friends. And so every week I went to life group because they were my friends. I played spike ball with David Wolfer probably every day on the horseshoe, which like to me seemed so normal. It was like, yeah, of course, we're on campus. Why wouldn't we hang out?
Yeah.
But like, he was a senior. So it actually wasn't normal. It's like, you actually probably are never. He lived in Irmo. Like,
he rode his bike. He rode his bike from Irmo.
Every day he was driving, parking at Midtown, biking to campus to hang out with me. And it's like, I didn't think about that because campus was my hub.
Yeah.
And even like, it's funny now because 4 years have gone by, talking to him about that year, and he was like, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, it was so hard. He was like, he's told me stories about how he was in John Ludovino's driveway being like, I just don't know that I can do it. I was not the easiest life group member. And so, like, that is kind of why I wanted, when we started talking about freshman groups, I wanted to push it so hard because it was, the reason I'm here is because of freshman group. Like, I wasn't going to go sign up for a life group. somebody came up to me, asked me for my number, and said, you should hang out with me. And I was like, let's do that. And so that's why, for me at least, this is kind of personal.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to get 10 numbers?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 10 numbers. Pull out your notebook. 14. Write that down. 6. 12. I'm just kidding. 10 numbers. This is the combination. I couldn't remember the numbers from Lawson. 14, 13,
16, 23.
There's a treasure chest in the lake. You have to find it. Sorry. Hey, serious up, everybody. Serious up over here. So, one of the practical things that we want to do with the with intentionally reaching out to freshmen, it would be one thing to say, all right, hey, we're going to intentionally do some things for freshmen, and then see what happens. But we want to actually give some input goals, right? So things that we can actually control. We cannot control how many freshmen actually come to your life group. We can't control how many freshmen actually show up to First Five or come to a gathering on a Sunday or College for All Trade or whatever. But what we can control is how many we actually reach out to, right? So I can control how many freshmen I talk to, just literally by trying to talk to them. And so the 10 numbers thing is we want each one of you guys to have a goal. I want to get 10 numbers of freshmen, 10 phone numbers of freshmen, or contacts, Snapchat, whatever people communicate with. Genuinely, if it is Snapchat, if you're getting people's Snap contact and their phone number, the goal is to get 10. And that might seem like an arbitrary number, but honestly, it was like, how many people would it be is like a reasonable number for new people to meet? For the most uncomfortable person in the room, for over the course of 15 days, how can we kind of set the bar to where it's accomplishable, where you get 10 numbers of somebody? And honestly, for some of you guys, they'd be like, no, I have 100. It's a problem. I have too many numbers. And some of y'all can be like, yeah, I got to 10, and it was probably the hardest thing for me to do. But the goal is you get the phone numbers, and it's not like you're mass texting. You are literally just inviting people into your life. What are you doing that day? Texting, see what's going on. Hey, we met at whatever. My name's Jacob. We met at move-in day. We're getting lunch on the Horseshoe if you want to come hang out. They respond, great. One of the things we want to try to do is you guys are not as awkward as David Wolfer, but you guys know, okay, if I text somebody 3 times and they don't text me back, I'm probably not going to text them again, right? Like, I'm probably not just going to be like, hey, well, bro.
What is it?
Dude. Right. Hello? And because we know it can be uncomfortable, especially you're thinking, wow, how am I going to get somebody's phone number? Right? Like, I mean, that's a little intimate. We actually made.
Yeah. Does anybody feel awkward about that? It's like, I don't know that I feel great about asking just this random person for their phone number.
Yeah. See?
Genuinely, like, if you have concerns. Yeah.
Cool. What's your phone number?
Hands up all over the room.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So we actually, like Jay was alluding to, because we knew that's a little bit awkward, we made a video.
We spent a lot of time.
Seriously. Just so that we can all see some strategies and be freed up about asking people for their phone numbers. So,
you can take notes if you need to.
I'm excited. 14. Is this video going to be sent to all of us?
oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, great.
Oh yeah.
Plug it in.
Oh,
yeah.
Plug it in.
Oh, yeah.
So do you want to do it?
Plug it all the way in. There we go. All right, everybody, be quiet.
That's beautiful.
Don't close it.
number? Hey, can you hold this? Yeah. Can you just go ahead and put your number in? Knock. Who's there? Can I get your number? Sure. Hey, can I get your number? No. All right.
Pretty awkward.
Terrible.
It's pretty tough.
Absolutely.
It's pretty tough. Pretty tough stuff.
I'm just tying my shoe, man.
It works every time. Spend hours tying your shoe.
During the missional center. You're gonna have shoes that need to be tied. Put the sandals away, yo.
All right. Good.
Yeah, this is a classic method. Classic method. Yeah, so I know that video is a little bit ridiculous and a little bit just funny, but kind of the point of it is, it's just not weird today to ask somebody for their number. Like, it's not as weird as we make it out to be. I mean, it's just like, you meet somebody, you ask them for their number, don't be awkward. And if they say no, it's like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're good. Like, that is enough. And so we actually did a little bit of math, and I know Jay already talked about this, but we want everybody in here to get 10 numbers. And so there's 25 to 30 people in here. There's about 40 people on leadership. So if just leadership does this, that's 400 phone numbers that we've gotten. And then if you do the whole college ministry, it's about 2,000. And the reason that matters is that's 2,000 people we're at least inviting in. Even if they never show up, we're inviting in to, hey, be a part of Jesus-centered family on mission. Mm-hmm. Like, we want you to be here. And if they say no, that's fine. Like, all we can do is be faithful. Mm-hmm. And so I ran a little bit of math. I'm a little bit of a math guy, so it's a little bit easier for me to think this way. But just if 10%, or another way to say it is one person, if we all make one friend during first week that jumps in 2 years, that means 700 people in life groups.
The 700 college students.
College students. Not.
We currently have 800 people in
total.
our church.
We could have one person we lose like.
Yeah, I know. And then in 4 is 2,500.
Gosh, that's crazy.
4 years.
4 years. So none of you will be here. We still will be.
You don't know.
Chugging along.
You don't know that.
You're right. Sorry.
You don't know. You don't know how smart I'm not.
Yeah. And so what I don't want you to hear is we just care about the numbers. Like that's the point of this. We want a lot of people to be involved in Midtown College. It's like, no, that's not it at all. We care about people.
Yeah. So I think those are helpful things. It's like, really, if you reach out to 10 people and one person, like, I feel like that is accomplishable. Like, can I make one friend over the next however long that I can share my life with and share Jesus with? Seems pretty easy, right? So I mean, that's 10% success at that point. Now, some people might have 10 numbers and none of them come around, and maybe they never even come around until their senior year. But that's still a good thing. And so that 2,500 number, that 800 number, whatever it is, that is not to say, all right, let's go get them. Isn't that awesome? That is awesome. Really, it is to say that the harvest is plentiful, right? And we actually have a good many workers too. And I kind of want to set it up for us to see how reachable those goals are. Because if we get one person, and then that continues to grow next 2 years, 3, 4 years. The harvest is plentiful. The Lord can do whatever He wants to. Some of you guys might have 10. What are the numbers if this room does 10?
Yeah. If this room does 10, everybody else does 10%. 2 years. Sorry, I'm doing some math on the fly. 2 years is more like 1,700, and 4 years is more like 8,000.
Which is ridiculous. Gosh. Right? But I mean, even if the people in this room, you guys are leading out in this, I don't assume that the 200 people that are going to be in y'all's life group that are other college students at Midtown are going to take as seriously the 10 numbers, right? But even if some do and some don't, and you guys take heed on that, there is just, the harvest is plentiful. And I think the Lord has kind of set us up in a place that I think it could really, really be awesome. And so I know we did the silly video about that, but really, so for a long time, our model was doing ministry was kind of like, okay, we're Midtown, we're trying to do some on-campus stuff to help serve the students, to help try to make it easier for ministry and students. But it kind of turned into Midtown doing things, and then college students coming to them and partying, and it was fun, but not really, it was Midtown doing it. Midtown did this thing, yeah, they did this thing, yeah, they did this thing, and yeah, no, I go to Midtown, and they did this on campus. We're trying to shift the way that we think about that to really talk about, instead of a they, it's a we. And so if we aren't doing it, then we're not doing it. So like for first week, when I started being a part of it however many years ago, it was like, all right, we're going to do something. We're going to do 8 events, and we're going to have a first week team, and it's going to be a reach out thing and whatever. We're taking a big shift this year. I think we're planning 2, 3 things on campus, 4 things on campus, 4. Which are
first 5. We're doing a concert at Cool Beans. We're doing similar music at Russell House.
Yeah.
3 on campus. Then we're doing a block party one Sunday.
Yeah. But I mean, on campus,
3.
not even thinking about first 5.
2.
Yeah, we're doing 2 things. So in the past, we did like 10. I don't know. We did like first.
We did 1 every day.
But what we're yeah. So it can be a little awkward to invite people to a church thing, which we don't want that. We don't care about people coming to a church thing. We care about people coming to your house and eating pancakes. People care about people coming to your house and going to lunch on the Horseshoe. People care about you playing spike ball with folks, right? And so what we're about to do is do something we're going to call the Freshman 15, which is the first 15 days, we're going to think of something every day. So we have on the calendar, and we can look at it in a minute.
Yeah.
Or you want to look at it now?
Up to you.
We'll look at it in a minute. We've already got on the calendar, this is a couple of things that Midtown are planning, that we are planning. And then a couple of things that USC has already planned for freshmen. And really the idea is we want you guys to have something on every day. Something every day. That either it's your life group or you and another friend or whatever it is that you can invite someone to. Whether it's a big event or we're going to dinner. I'm going to dinner with a couple guys at this place in Columbia. And the idea is so that you can, when you meet a freshman at move-in day, you already have a plan of what's going to happen that you can invite them to. Does that make sense? So let's just say you move in a freshman. Hey, we're going to lunch right after this. We're going to dinner right after this. After your parents leave, if you want to hook up, we can do that. Get your number. Not hook up. I didn't say hook up. Sorry. To me that is such a natural, like, hey, yeah, we're going to the Fireflies game. If you want to come with us, I can get your number and text you if you want. And then they no, I'm good. Or, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. To me, that plays out perfectly in my head. Or we're playing spike ball. Have you ever played spike ball? No. What is it? Well, it's kind of like that. Oh yeah, that sounds great. All right, you want me to text you later? We'll text you when we're going out there. Great. Can I get your number? You just put it in my phone. That type of stuff is very easy. There's no hiding. Yeah, I'm part of a church. We're helping move in. I go to USC. We're helping move in. We're doing an on-campus worship thing tomorrow night. If you want to come hang out, whatever it is. But the idea is have something every night. Freshman 15, first 15 days. And you can utilize the things we're doing. So the bigger stuff, we don't expect that all you guys should, or I think that y'all could plan a huge concert at Cool Beans, but that's something that was like, yeah, that was easy for us to plan, and it seemed like it's been a success in the past. So we're just kind of do that. So what y'all are going to do is break up, take a little time in groups of folks maybe you already hang out with or you want to hang out with on those first 15. Say, all right, what are some things we can plan? Hey, we're planning a pancake party at this person's house, and we're going to get our life group, and you have 2 other life groups, and we're just going to plan it. Pancake party, Tuesday night. Let's put it on the calendar. Whatever it is, something big, something small. We're throwing a house party. We're throwing a huge house party. We're going to clear everything out. On Thursday night, huge house party. We're doing it. Any of that is in the realm of possibility. So I want you guys to think on that, get creative, work together, and then I think we're gonna take an hour to plan that out.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and how do you want to split up into?
Yeah. So real quick, just quick clarification. So on your calendars in the back of your book binder is August. You have August through December, and so it says it on there. But freshman 15 is August 20th through September 2nd, and so on here we've put in green is like, as a life group leader at Midtown College, this is kind of an expected event. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Don't worry about that. I just want you to know what the colors mean. Red is USC has already planned this. And maybe I should use that. Maybe I should just go to USC's event. And then black is later, but it's like things that Midtown has planned. And so, kind of like Jay said, we're not expecting like Sebastian to 15 days in a row party in my house. It's like, man, if you want to, but work together. Like, this doesn't have to be each one of you have individual plans. Like, if you want to pair up, group up with, so on Monday, let's do something at your house. And on Tuesday, we can do something at my house. Then Wednesday, we're going to go to this USC event. Because it's like, that way, even if no freshmen come, it's not like you're just sitting at your house
It's still
alone.
a party.
Like,
That's right. Yeah, it's still a party. Yeah,
watching a movie.
Yeah. And so some of the freshman things that you'll see, those are great opportunities to meet freshmen, right? So not all most freshmen don't go to these things. USC creates these things because they want to catch the freshmen who don't want to go get drunk and give them something to do, right? And so these are good opportunities to utilize as meeting people, but also invite people to meet them, invite people into their lives, into your lives as well. Cool.
And so, kind of just good expectations. There's a page that says freshman 15 has 15 blanks, and so tonight I want you guys to group up in like groups of 3 to 4. If you have a co-leader here / people in your life group, that's a pretty automatic pairing. If not, don't worry about it. Just pick somebody. And then actually tonight, this is going to be later, we're all going to present. This is my plan.
We're going
the
to
first
present today.
15 days.
We're going to present that in an hour.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they're going to brainstorm it and then present the messages.
Cool. So we're going to do that in an hour. So, hour, break up. Go ahead.
All right, wait. One last thing. Do you guys feel the shift from we to they? Okay. Midtown is not doing it, right? So when you invite someone to one of these events, it doesn't feel like, Midtown's doing this. So like if you're having a party at your house, probably not going to say, my church is throwing this. You're like, no, I'm throwing. I am throwing this party, right?
It's all about me.
That's right. It's all about me. Don't even think about it, because it is all we, right? So even the thing at Cool Beans, we are throwing that party at Cool Beans, right? We are bringing the party and we are owning it.
But some of those predetermined things can exist on our freshman 15.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Like intentionally with our life.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And like I said, we'll talk about this more later. But if it's green, concert at Cool Beans, hanging out at the Russell, first 5, you can literally write those in as part of your freshman 15.
Yep.
And it's like, we're doing this. They're already on my calendar. I'm gonna be here.
Yep.
And I'm gonna invite people to this.
Yep.
Fill in the other 12 blanks.
Yep.
Basically.
All right. So how many people we have?
25 to 30.
Okay, so group up into 4 to 5 people, I think, and then make a plan. And when we come back in an hour, we'll present like your top 5, and then maybe as we're doing that, I want everybody else to be taking notes. Like, oh, wonder if we can group up with them for that. We're trying to do this, maybe, and then later we'll do a finalized. Like, all right, what is the final plan? So right now we're doing rough drafts so that we can hear what other people's ideas are. Yes.
Are we going to college leaders group me?
Yes.
Hey.
Sounds good.
That's what I look for. More groupings.
Cool. All right, so let's do it for an hour. You think that'll be good? All right, so let's go 11:50. We'll bring it back in. Y'all get creative. Yeah, the difference is the finalized version.